Hello and welcome to GOA365's live coverage of Bihar Assembly elections. Today is the second phase of the elections and 122 seats are under polling as of now. As of 3 p.m. the voting percentage is 60.40%. To discuss this voting and overall what the picture looks like, because today is the last phase and the result is on 14, just 3 days away, we have with us a very senior panel. We have Francis Bab Coelho, social worker, political analyst. We also have Mayur Parekh and Dr. Advocate Siddharth Samant joining us shortly. So if you look at today's elections, 60.40 is quite a high number. If we compare this to phase 1 at 3 p.m, the percentage was 53.77. So 53.77 in phase 1 and 60.40 in phase 2 as of 3 p.m. There's been a jump of around 7%, which is quite a number. Now let's just look at the previous elections data. I would like the seats slide please on screen for the benefit of our viewers. So if you look at 2010 was an election which was comprehensively won by the BJP and JDU combined. JDU got 115 seats whereas BJP got 91 seats. It was a comprehensive victory. In 2015, there was change in alliance. Post Lok Sabha elections of 2014, Nitish Kumar decided to join with RJD and they contested in an alliance with the Congress as a part of Mahagathbandhan. That election was won by the Mahagathbandhan with RJD getting 80 seats and Nitish Kumar's JDU getting 71 seats. Fast forward to 2020 and the alliance changed again. Nitish Kumar was with an alliance with the BJP and he managed to get only 43 seats, whereas BJP got 74 seats and its main opponent RJD got 75 seats. Now there are a couple of things which are of interest as for 2020 elections. One is Chirag Paswan's LJP. Chirag Paswan's LJP contested against JDU. It only contested against JDU in the seats where BJP was not in play. So as part of alliance, the seats that were got by BJP, LJP did not contest. So that had a major impact. Also the Congress contested on quite a few numbers and 70 to be precise, and managed to win only 19. So this brought the tally of the Mahagathbandhan down. So probably if Congress had won around 30-35 out of 70 and got a strike rate of around 50%, similar to what RJD got. RJD had contested 144 seats and they managed to win 75. So that was around 52% strike rate. So if Congress had got that much strike rate, probably the Mahagathbandhan would have been through. So these are a couple of interesting facts as far as 2020 election is concerned. So I would want the panelists to throw some light on this and probably tell us their views as to what impact this will have in the current election, because LJP is now with the NDA. It's not contesting against JDU, it's contesting in an alliance and they are contesting 28 seats. So seat sharing is also perfectly defined in NDA. As far as Mahagathbandhan is concerned, RJD has been working for on the ground for the last 5 years. Congress is also contesting slightly lower number of seats. They are also having friendly fights in seats where they feel both the parties have strong candidates and so on. We have our panelist Siddharth Bab Samant, who has joined us. He is a senior advocate and political analyst. So I would like to start with Francis Bab. So Francis Bab, what do you think? What will happen in this election, looking at the past election figures and overall your analysis of the election coverage?
See, I have been watching what is happening in Bihar. I have been, specifically watching a few channels like Ravish does he has a Bihari Bhojpuri channel, and this guy called Ajit Anjum. These people have been going on the ground and talking to a lot of people. I haven't been to Bihar in a long time, but I've been watching what they're saying. there is a lot of signals that are coming out of it. That factor that you said, that the LJP contested only against Nitish Kumar's JDU, was a very damaging factor. If you, on your chart, if you see, JDU's tally dropped drastically, and
Correct.
BJP became the larger party than JDU in the alliance.
Right.
But that is not there this time. And JDU has a lot of, Nitish personally has a lot of fan following in the women voters, because the schemes that he has given for women in Bihar has worked. And also the thing is that although the registered voters of male and female in Bihar is almost the same, one half, most or lot of the male voters are out migrated for work. So the female population is the one that is there and voting. The percentage of female voting is higher than the percentage of male voting in Bihar,
Correct.
or almost the same, because this is a very strange fact. Like if you see Maharashtra, if you see Goa, if you see any other places, the percentage of female voting is generally lower. Lesser females come out to vote. But in Bihar, the percentage of female voting is higher. And this works in Nitish's favor. But on the other hand, if you see the kind of polling that has happened, today we see that by 3 o'clock, 60% polling has happened. That means 70% polling will happen. Last time the total polling of entire Bihar elections was some 53 or 54% polling.
Correct.
That means that there's a 6% rise in the number of people that have come out to vote. Now, this can be attributed to the Jan Suraj and the noise that they made regarding the election. It can be attributed to Rahul Gandhi's vote chori yatra that he did. A lot of very loud and very prominent agitations or / activations have happened in this election. So there are completely mixed signals. I think that as far as Nitish is concerned, he'll still come out like, strong and shining. I don't know about the BJP, but I think Congress will go up slightly in their tally that they had from the last time. And Lalu faction, which is Tejasvi and the main RJD, if they are not damaged by their own people, I think they can come up as well, as big as the Congress, and maybe make a show. So right now, according to me, my analysis, this is anybody's election, and we have to wait to see what the exit polls say. But I think right now the game is completely on, and it's very interesting. And like, I love elections, I love electoral politics, and so for me this is extremely exciting to keep on looking at facts, figures and this. But as of now, I can't really see anyone, and I can't really predict anyone. But I think Nitish has a slight edge over the rest.
So you think it's not going to be very clear mandate as such, and
I would be a little surprised if it's a very clear mandate. The only thing that goes to talk to a very, very large and clear mandate is the high rise in voting percentage. That high rise in voting percentage is a huge factor which says that there might be a wave in favor of, can be in favor of Nitish also. It you can't really say, and can be, like, I was going through Twitter, and there are, like, you leave the trolls and leave the bots aside, there are analysts and there are people who are saying it's in Nitish's favor, and there are analysts and people who are saying it's in Tejasvi's favor. Nobody's saying it's in Rahul Gandhi's favor. Nobody's saying it's in BJP's favor. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about either Tejasvi or they're talking about Nitish. So it can be that. So
okay, so we'll come to voting percentages and what implication it has in some time. I would like to get in Advocate Siddharth Bab Samant to express his views on this.
As far as election is, the way it is posed, of course, increase in vote share from 57 to 65 as far as the first leg of election is concerned, and now probably it will be again around 5 to 6% or even 7% at the end of the day.
Actually,
Now,
we'll have that slide. Can we have a voter turnout slide, please? Since we are discussing it, may as well show it to our... let me just give a brief. So 2010, the voting percentage was 52.7%. 2015, it went to 56.9%. And 2020, it went to 58.7%. And in phase 1, it went to 64%. And
already.
Yeah,
64 till the end of polling, and as of 3 p.m. it was 53.77, and in phase 2 as of 3 p.m. it is 60.40. So even in phase 1 and phase 2 there is a hike of around 7%. Phase 1 was already around 6% more than 2020, and phase 2 is even higher.
Yes. So voting percentage. See, if you had to ask me this question in late 80s or early 90s, I would have told you that such a hike in voting percentage means that there is a imminent threat to the incumbent government, but that has not remained so. If you have seen last 7-8 elections, the BJP, in spite of being in power in state for 2 terms, 3 terms also, voting percentage has increased and it has helped the incumbent government.
Correct.
So now that ratio is done and dusted. So increase in voting leads to ouster of the incoming government was a proposition of 80s and 90s. It's no longer true. Now let us come to the ground realities. What I say would be very important thing would be the amount of votes that Jan Swaraj Party is able. I am not talking about the seats, but amount of votes. If they are able to get around 7 to 10% of the vote, they will ensure that NDA gets a very comfortable mark. If you ask me what is my inference of today's voting or last date voting, I see NDA getting majority, but whether that will be decisive majority or it would be majority of how they would get election before, that would depend upon how much damage Jan Swaraj Party have been able to do. Because this Jan Swaraj Party, manner in which he has done his speeches, the manner in which he has spoken, his agenda, his whatever promises to the people has been absolutely, means you can totally segregate. Those who are going to vote for Jan Swaraj Party are never going to vote for BJP. So it would be like how RG factor. I mean, he can be compared as an RG of Bihar election. That's how. If they are able to breach a certain percentage, they will ensure that NDA gets a thumping majority. I see that NDA sailing through. But yes, as he says that the difference may not be as much, but amount of votes Jan Swaraj Party gets, that would be the deciding factor. The plus point of Nitish Kumar is, and the question came, people are always talking about whether it will be Nitish Kumar or it will be Tejasvi. The reason being, if you have seen last 2-3 elections, BJP has almost decided, at least broadly they have decided, that as far as irrespective of what the vote share is, or irrespective of what the total number of seats is, that Nitish Kumar would be the chief minister. Because that, if you see, last time also there has been instances where BJP has got more seats than the Nitish Kumar, but it's a coalition. I think that is the dharma that they are, coalition dharma that they are protecting. And same thing as far as we can talk about Shiv Sena if you have time also. It collapsed because of the same thing, because somebody wanted to have the first run in this. Now second, as far as this Bihar election is concerned, that formula has been scrupulously this. Therefore, if you see, Nitish Kumar has supported NDA. There are quite number of MPs, but in spite of not getting a plump portfolio, he still continues to support NDA. So that appears to be the arrangement between the BJP
so
and
you are saying BJP gets heavyweight, meaning gets more.
Even if more, that I see Nitish Kumar becoming the chief minister in any case. If it's NDA, then it's irrespective of whatever internal votes the seat sharing would be. Still, I see Nitish Kumar being sworn as a chief minister, and irrespective, of course, there I doubt whether somebody would be able to surpass Lalu's party. There, it's if it's in India bloc, then it would be, that goes without saying. But as far as Nitish Kumar's party is concerned, doesn't matter whether he still stuck to 40 or 50. I see him become chief minister in case if the.
So you are saying that the deal is Nitish Kumar supports the BJP gets more in the Lok Sabha, and Nitish is given slightly more weightage in the assembly election and made the chief minister. So you
Correct.
think that is kind of the deal
that
we have.
appears to how it has worked for BJP in last 3 to 4 elections.
Okay. So now, since we were discussing about Jan Suraj, so for the benefit of our viewers, Jan Suraj is headed by Prashant Kishore. He had IPAC as his political analysis and political strategy wing, and he has implemented lot of campaigns for a lot of politicians, including Narendra Modi in 2014, then Arvind Kejriwal, Mamta Banerjee, Nitish Kumar, and so on. Even in the south with Jagan Mohan Reddy. Not all of them have been successful, but he has been credited with quite a few successful campaigns. Sadly, the Goa one was not successful or up to mark, but nevertheless, he is someone who has good political acumen, has a lot of experience in running campaigns, and also a lot of experience of the ground realities. So I was also listening to his interviews, and the thing that he said was, one of the reporters asked him, how many seats will you get? So he said that either he will get majority or it will be less than 10 seats. So I personally feel it will be less than 10 seats, but as Dr. has said, the impact of the votes that he gets could decide how many seats the others get or others do not get. So coming to that point and the voting percentage increase, I want to ask you whether he has played any role in increasing the voting percentage, because he's been moving around in the villages and on the ground for a couple of years trying to motivate the voters. Either that or his vote share, whatever that he gets, 5%, 7%, will come from some other party. And if it comes from some other party, who do you think will be the most affected? I will start with Francis Bab.
See, I agree on both fronts. I agree with what you said, and I agree with what Dr. said also. The places, if you see his yatras that he has done, Prashant Kishore and his Jan Suraj party, all of the places that are going into polling in the phase 2, all of these Betaya, Katiyar, Jhanjarpur, Chakai, Imamganj, all of these places that he has gone for in his tour are going to poll now in this phase 2, right? And you can see that like phase 2, the polling is higher already.
Correct.
Also, it's a more rural area, and generally there is a higher voter turnout in the rural areas in Bihar. We've seen that consistently. So there is definitely a rise in the people turnout of voting, because it's a basic factor of marketing. What Prashant Kishore has done very well is he has marketed himself and the election along with it. He couldn't have marketed just himself without marketing the election. So he has marketed the election and created that buzz, and that buzz has made people get out. That's something. You see a lot of elections where the incumbent is just going to come and win, and in the earlier days especially. But if there was a newcomer and he created a lot of buzz, he used to get people out to the polling booths, and then there used to be a surge and people used to win. But that is all again a factor of marketing. What Prashant Kishore has done is marketed himself and the election very well, so the voter turnout has come out. And I also agree with Dr. when he says that I don't think he'll get a large voting percentage. He will get a small voting percentage, and his entire voting percentage will hurt only the Mahagathbandhan. According to me, it will only hurt the Mahagathbandhan.
If you look at 2020, the voting percentage was 58.7, and if you look at phase 1, it was 64, and phase 2 looks like definitely cross 70 probably. So that means overall we should have a figure around 67, 68.
Yeah.
So that is like 9% increase. So are this 9% going to him, or where are they going?
See, I don't know whether they're going to him. Like I said, when I was watching all the videos of a lot of reporters going on ground and interviewing people, when you talk to the ladies, even young, like, there was this Ajit Anjum was talking to women who are doing large scale police training exercises in a field, and when the reporter was asking them who they're going to vote for, they all said Nitish Kumar. Very few of those ladies were upcoming in front, but one of the girls said that, like, हमारे मम्मी ने और हमारे मासी ने हमको बोला है कि नीतीश जी ने औरतों का बड़ा ख्याल रखा है. So basically that means that that message has penetrated down through the females, that the schemes that Nitish Kumar has given for women have been working. If you see the young male boys in, like, you know, in the rural areas, their answers would be Tejasvi bhaiya kuch karenge, Tejasvi bhaiya kuch karenge. So Tejasvi has brought in a sense of hope amongst the people. If you see the older voters, when you talk to the older men that they are talking to, most of them say Nitish ji ने अच्छा काम किया है, वो पहले की तरह गुंडा राज नहीं होते थे, पहले की तरह ये नहीं होता था. हाँ, थोड़ा पलायन है और जॉब्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं, पर नीतीश जी ने तो काम तो किया है, कुछ तो किया है, So Nitish has basically entrenched himself in a senior voter. Tejasvi is targeted and he has got a good response from the youth. If you see all his rallies and all, the youngsters in those rallies are like overflowing in those rallies, right? And as far as the women are concerned, I think they are with Nitish Kumar. So, like, these are the statistics which are very confusing. You can't really tell. As far as Prashant Kishore is concerned, in all of these interviews, I have been counting and I have noticed 2 to 3 out of the youth especially, have said we will vote for Prashant Kishore, kuch naya karenge wo, unse kuch umeed hai hamari, so they are talking in that fashion. So like Dr. said, I think he will get that 10% or lower vote share, and that will affect the Mahagathbandhan, and that will basically ensure that the NDA and JDU basically remain in power, and Nitish Kumar, like sir said, whoever wins and whoever gets what vote, Nitish remains as CM. That saying, like, jab tak Bihar mein aloo hai, tab tak Bihar mein lalu hai, something like that. Same thing applies for Nitish now.
He is Sudhin Davekar of God. It doesn't matter whether it's a Congress government or a BJP government. He is one person who is going to be there in the government.
And he'll be PWD minister.
So as far as Nitish's plus point is concerned, women's empowerment.
I will just add, I'll just add one more point. See, now if you look at NDA, so it has JDU and BJP. Now we've seen in many states like Maharashtra, for example, Shiv Sena and your BJP goes in an alliance. So previously the Shiv Sena was dominant, but that did not stop BJP from projecting someone like Devendra Fadnavis, rather than projecting, promoting or nurturing and getting him as a leader. Even in Goa, MGP was dominant, BJP was like a newcomer. Yet Manohar Parrikar came, he rose and became chief minister and defense minister and so on. So somehow I don't see that happening in Bihar. There was Sushil Modi, he's no longer there unfortunately, but other than him, I don't see anyone who has risen to that level or even close to Nitish Kumar's stature as far as pan Bihar appeal is concerned. So, why do you think that is? I mean, please continue with what you were saying, but if you can throw some light on this as well.
Unless the kind of politics very cleverly played in such manner that they have ensured, there are leaders like that who see to it that there is no number 2, so that I don't. Let's not name anybody, but there are leaders like that who ensure that there is no number 2 so long as I am there on the seat. Either it could be that. One leader who was prominent among them was Raju Pratap Rudy, but somehow he did not get in the line. See, if you see during Vajpayee's time in that government, he was seen to be as a front runner, and he would something. As far as Bihar is concerned, it looked as if. But today he has almost gone in oblivion. He doesn't seem to be there on the surface. So many leaders would be there. Capable leaders are there. Are they getting the right kind of atmosphere and right kind of support that was required is something which will require to be looked into. Let me come to whatever I was saying. As far as the Chief Minister of Bihar is concerned, 2-3 things will certainly go in his favor. One is schemes which are supporting women's empowerment. Now those, because if you see kind of participation among now also, the voter turnout of women is far more than that of men, and the kind of overall participation, if you see in this democratic process, election process, the women's participation, whether it is canvassing, earlier it was very, very less as far as Bihar is concerned, but now it appears that they have, those traditional shackles have been broken down and they are participating. Second is criminal, that there was the industry of kidnappings and other things. Now that has totally gone. it's as if it's not there at all. It may not be 100% success, but to a large extent, those who have seen Bihar in 60s and 70s and 80s, and those young boys who are born after that, they actually do not know. They are told by their parents that such a thing was there, but that credit has to go to the current chief minister. There is no doubt about it. And third is welfare schemes. Welfare scheme. I'm not just talking about women. Overall welfare schemes which have been made. I think these are 3 points which are. I'll give you one example. There was a study which was conducted by university. When first time Nitish Kumar was sworn in as a chief minister, he came out with a scheme for a bicycle for a girl who was supposed to get into 10th standard. Now for the first time, it has been always, whenever a scheme like that, whichever, and this is not a political point, how many bicycles are to be brought? 10 lakh bicycles are to be brought. Normally tendency is in any government, and I'm making it clear that this is not a political thing, 20% hajar udopak metle म्हणून. This is how the schemes work. So if a budget 30%, if you find 20% less, whatever. So normally these are how. See, I'm not talking about Bihar or UP or
Siddharth, we have to go in for a short break, but before that I would like to point out Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana, 2,100 crores transferred just before the election to 1.1 crore women beneficiaries. Illegal? Definitely not. Ethical? We'll discuss after the break. Keep watching GOA 365. Welcome back after this short break. So I was talking about Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana. So 1.1 crore women beneficiaries, 2,100 crore transferred just before the election in 2-3 phases. Now definitely not illegal because code of conduct was not in force. But is it ethical to do this just before the elections? I would want your views, Francis Babu.
Before that, let me complete what I was talking, because that's very important thing, because it's a new thing that was been done and it really worked. There are studies which are conducted in this. Whenever there is a mega schemes or something like that, it's always supply of, let's say, sewing machines to women, or let us say or whatever. There is always some sort of a commission going on. Nitish Kumar, for the first time, what he did is he formulated a scheme whereby instead of giving cycles, he transferred that money directly to the mother's account. And this scheme, thereafter proper study was conducted. Who has bought? 96% bought the cycles actually. So no other, see, if you a scheme of this magnitude, if it is to be implemented in any state, there would be at least 10 to 15 to 20% of pilferage. This is 96 is a great success, and this is what this something.
So even if bicycles were given, they could be of lower quality, inferior.
Correct. That money was transferred into their account, and thereafter it was checked how many people have actually got. 96% actually went on. 4% was pilferage. There's no doubt about it. But this is something which doing things differently and governing better is something that is peculiar to. That's why people initially, today of course that how much it has remained I do not know, but they would call him Sushashan Babu. The precisely reason that schemes like this and implementation like this earned him that title of Sushashan Babu.
And he was in power for quite a long time, and this was probably the reason why he was. But now tell me about this particular scheme. Does this make sense?
Yeah,
is it ethical?
It makes complete sense. See, there are 3.7 crore voters going to polling in this phase, just this phase, out of which 1.75 crore, 1 crore 75 lakh voters are females. Okay, that is a huge number, right? And 99.99% of these females are present in Bihar. Out of the remaining male voters, which is slightly more, say 1.95 crore voters, like only 80% are present in Bihar. 25 to 20% of them are stuck in like their jobs in different parts of the country. which is a huge migration of male voters. So who's your biggest chunk of voting is the female voters. Another thing that, like, you know, why it will work is because the female voters in all these surveys and all that you see there, it is showing that the female voters are voting en bloc. They are talking amongst themselves, they are like meeting in the evenings, they are discussing. And like he said, that girl who got that cycle when he first came to power in 2010 is a voter now, right? And she's a voter with an agenda. She says that I went to school because of that cycle that was given by Nitish Kumar. So that now this final push of money is to remind all of them, ki boss, I have taken care of you for the last 20 years, and here is a reminder that I'll take care of you for the next 20 years. So that is going to make a big difference on the female voters. Secondly,
no,
you know,
I mean, see,
what I
it is definitely going to make an impact, but is it correct to do
it?
it?
Yeah, it is. See, in politics,
Demand
like, you know,
versus
Sam Dam
supply.
Danda Bhed, you cannot say it is correct or incorrect, right? We are, like, you know, I am from the opposing clan as far as things are concerned, but here we are analyzing his move. I think it's a brilliant move, right? It's a brilliant move. Yeah, if you ask me my opinion, I'll say, yeah, he's, like, you know, taking advantage of the fact that he's in the government. But who doesn't take advantage? When the Congress was in government, they took full advantage of the fact that they were in the government, right? Today the BJP is in government in Goa, they're taking full advantage of the fact that they are in power. It's the same thing. Another thing is, what I would like to give credit to Nitish Kumar is when he took over the politics, right? If you see those debates, I was, like, you know, pretty young at that time, but I was taking keen interest. It was Muslim and Yadav. Every debate was talking about Muslim Yadav, M and Y.
Yeah.
Today he has changed that from Mahila and Yuva. The Yuva is not happy with him, but he's changed that to Mahila and Yuva. That M and Y has been changed from Muslim Yadav to Mahila and Yuva, right? And like sir said, they are calling the Susasan. Susasan means like good governance, Sarkar, which is true. So, and these things like that Nitish Kumar does, right, it overshadows all his other stupid antics that he does on stage. Like, you know, when you see him on stage, he looks like an old man who's floundering and who's falling and who's talking rubbish, and, you know, he's not standing when the national anthem is, he's not standing still when the national anthem is being played, and all of those stuff. They are trying to use the small gimmicks. These women who are getting cycles for free don't give a shit whether he stands during the national anthem. They are saying, humko cycle mil raha hai aur ye aadmi acha hai. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I think it's great politics that he plays, which Tejasvi Yadav is still getting to learn. Yeah, Lalu Yadav used to be, like, you know, exactly like Nitish Kumar. In fact, he used to be better. He was more flamboyant. He used to entertain people a lot more. Like, you know, there was I used to love Lalu Yadav. And then suddenly I heard a speech of his in English where he spoke such phenomenally good English. I was like, this guy can speak English. It was amazing. So, like, you know, Bihar politics has always been full on entertainment. It's great. And I think that, like, you know, the money that he's doled out last minute to women is a trump card that he played at the last minute, which everyone does in a game of cards. You keep your trump card, the biggest trump card, and play it in the end. And his timing was also perfect. It was before the Achar Sanhita or Code of Conduct was implemented. So, can't fault him for that. Yeah.
Siddharth Babu.
See, as far as politically concerned, it's a master stroke, and I'm not talking only about Bihar. Anywhere, a ruling, that's the job of a astute politician.
We've seen parties putting things in the manifesto, like we will do this, we will transfer this much amount after coming to power. But this is kind of unprecedented.
I'll first tell you whether it is good or bad, and then I will answer that. See, any politician, finally your job is to win an election, there's no doubt about it. But so any politician who comes out with an idea like this deserves a bow. But I'll tell you, any society who falls for, you know, welfare scheme of this nature, they are not going to progress. That is one thing which is given. All economists are saying, it's not my opinion or something like that. If you are going to fall for welfareism like this, I think that education level has to increase. You know, that in the long run, this is not going to be good for me. It is not going to be good for society, and hence I should not, you know, bow down to schemes like this. And again, I'm saying it's not about Bihar or any society. I'm not even talking about my country. Any other country also. If a politician is making some announcement that, you know, this will be given free, that will be given concessional rate, instead of saying selling ideas that let us bring this kind of industries, you know, take the country forward by, you know, drafting this kind of policies, or unless people are, such thing doesn't appeal to the people, society as a whole will not progress. That's how economics always. Now let us come to this, why that money was actually paid. I feel this was to counter that one job in each house and all those impractical this was being made, wherein I'm not saying bad. He
even
also
Nitish Kumar is saying 1 crore jobs, which is completely impractical. There are no 1 crore employees only in the government in Bihar.
That's what. So so therefore, when an announcement of that nature came from other side, this man has played a very smart move. He says that's a gimmick, there is no doubt about it. At least what I am saying, I am giving it to you now. So therefore, a bird in a hand is worth not five in the bush. Yeah. So therefore, people will take welfare scheme, people will take this in, and I think people are going to respond very positively as far as this scheme is concerned.
Yeah, but there is another way of looking at it. So whenever you promise something, people will vote for you because you will fulfill that promise.
Correct.
Here he has already paid money, so what incentive do they have to vote for the NDA? They can vote for anyone they want.
No, they see, their manifesto is still there. There are about schemes, there are about houses, there are about so and so. At least he has given this is like a trailer that he is showing. Now based on this, you anticipate which movie. Now other side there is no trailer at all. Other side is there's just announcement. At least they have come with a trailer. Now, how do you watch a movie? You see a trailer, you like it, you watch the movie.
Correct.
So I think this Nitish Kumar's movie will be watched many times over by people vis-a-vis Lalu's movie is concerned.
Okay, very interesting. So let's, before we move on to the other discussions, let's have some prominent candidates that are there in this phase. Can we have them on the screen, please? So we have Nitish Mishra contesting from Jhanjharpur on the BJP. He is state vice president of the BJP of Bihar. Shreyasi Singh contesting from Jamui of the BJP. She is a shooter turned politician and youth face of BJP's campaign in Bihar. Shreyasi Singh. Then we have Renu Devi, again from the BJP, contesting in Bithaya. She is former deputy CM and is an OBC leader of the BJP. Shakil Ahmed Khan, contesting from Kadwa of the Congress, Indian National Congress. He is the leader of Congress Legislative Party in the current assembly. Anand Shankar Singh. Anand Shankar Singh of the Congress is also contesting in this phase. Now let's look at the manifesto, since we were discussing about the promises made. Now I'll quickly read some of the points that are there in the manifesto. Not all of them are so relevant, but let's see. So NDA has promised 125 units of free electricity for every household, whereas Mahagathbandhan has promised 200 units of free electricity for every household. In addition, there are a lot of other things, like NDA has promised 7 expressways, 4 metros, 10 industrial parks, 100 MSME parks, whereas the Mahagathbandhan has promised MSP for all crops, free health insurance, support for farmers and minorities, and also we'll come to the job part later. Also gas cylinder for 500 rupees. So there will be a capping of 500 rupees. Now it remains to be seen whether there are any terms and condition and financial criteria, but this has been mentioned. In addition, there is 2,500 per month for all women. This is again from the Mahagathbandhan. NDA is promising free education from KG to PG. Now in addition to this, the main important factor and the main agenda, or let's say the most prominent factor in any Bihar election, is employment. So their major issue is the people migrating to other states for employment. Why is that happening? Because there are not sufficient jobs in Bihar. Now, this employment factor, if you look at the manifesto, Mahagathbandhan has promised one job for every family, one government job for every family, whereas NDA has promised 1 crore plus jobs, government jobs. These are the government jobs that have been promised. And if you look at the current figure, so let me quickly pull the figure for you. It is 26 lakhs. So current government employees in Bihar is 26 lakhs and NDA is promising 1 crore. Mahagathbandhan is promising one job per family, and out of this 26 lakhs, around 10-12 lakh are permanent employees, the others are on contract. So from 26 lakhs, NDA is saying they'll give 1 crore more jobs. So from where are these jobs coming? And is it practically possible to give these many jobs? If jobs are given, whether it is practically possible to pay salaries to these employees without making any compromises on the other fields. So this is like the major topic of discussion.
See, there are some key facts about Bihar that are astonishing facts. Okay, 3 crore, that is 30 million. Okay, 3 crore workers from Bihar are migrating to other states to work, which is a massive number. Like, you know, it's crazy. Just imagine that and let that sink in for a minute. 3 crore Biharis have to go out to work, which is a complete brain drain. Now this, the Jan Suraj party has taken up day in and day out. Prashant Kishore only talks about this. He uses the term palayan, which is used in Bihari. Palayan means migration. Palayan. Like, you know, every day he's talking about that. The second thing is this thing called the low worker population ratio. The average of India is below 43%. With Bihar, it's 33%. Right? So the low worker population ratio is something where these Bihari laborers are working for extremely low wages. They are going to the other parts and they are working for extremely low wages. So by the time they live in that city or that town that they go to, and then they save money and come back, they're still not making enough of money, right? Now, the high youth and the educated unemployment, this is a problem where, like, wasn't there in Bihar earlier, but 16% recently, after an earlier drop, 16% of those people are unemployed. Earlier, those people used to get jobs in other places, like, you know, they used to get IT jobs in Hyderabad and Bangalore and all. Right. But now, 16% of them are unemployed. So, if you look at the unemployment, like, you know, things, if you look at, like, high education is 16%, and graduate education and postgraduate is 17%, and postgraduate is 19%. This is the 19% unemployment in post graduation, and they are looking for posts, like, you know, of, like, you know, peons and all of that stuff. So
no, we usually see lot of meaning long queues for a peon or a clerical job, wherein graduates, postgraduates from esteemed universities are also standing in the queue.
Yeah, you know, another thing that has affected Bihar very badly is these paper leaks and exam delays. Everybody in the election, and you ask the youth, they are bringing this subject up. And it is Prashant Kishore who has reminded them that every time there is a examination, the paper has got leaked and the examination has been cancelled and been redone. Okay? Examination delays is another thing. They are just not conducting examinations. Like, for recruitment to government posts, they are not conducting examinations. So the youth, I think, are extremely unhappy with Nitish Kumar. They are either looking at Tejasvi or they are looking at Jan Suraj party because of these reasons. Because, and especially the male youth, because exam delays, the paper leaks that have happened, and also this, like, you know, this Jumla or whatever, election Jumla you call it, where he's saying he'll give 1 crore jobs when there are only about 25-26 lakhs employees in the government. So that means he's going to, like, the government force is going to go up by 4 times. 25 lakh log ahate 1 crore jate le, kohe jate le, where are these jobs going to come from? So that 1 crore nobody is believing. Nobody is believing, like, nobody in Bihar is believing, because when the reporter asks any of these Bihari youth कि नीतीश बाबू ने तो बोला है कि 1 करोड़ जॉब निकालेंगे वो और जॉब देंगे, they are asking फिर 10 साल से क्या कर रहे थे, 1 करोड़ जॉब देंगे तो 10 साल से क्या. So this unemployment, if I think the one reason why the Nitish government will fall, for any chance if they fall, right, it will be this huge problem with unemployment, huge problem with the education and huge problem.
Because he's been in power for almost now 20
Yeah.
years. So
yeah, it is.
should have been able
that
to
onus
curtail him.
completely lies on him. But like we say, there is only talk about it. How much of that translates onto anger when people push that button on the EVM machine, right? And let's say the unemployed youth push that button. There's still 15 to 20% or maximum 25% who will vote against, right? And that vote also will get split. It will get split between Tejasvi, it will get split between Congress, Rahul Gandhi, it will get split between all three of them, Jan Swaraj Party and all three of them. But the consolidation of votes that happens for Nitish Kumar happens in a very strong way. Women, whether they employed, unemployed, they say, "Humko free cycle mila tha, school to jaane mila." Let's vote for Nitish Kumar. So I still feel with this huge noise that the opposition, Tejasvi Yadav and Prashant Kishore and Rahul Gandhi have spoken day in and day out about unemployment, day in and day out about paper leaks and all of this stuff. But let's see how much that affects the...
because Bihar has a population of 13 crores. So 13 crores, 26 lakhs already are there in government sector. So government employees 26 lakhs, and if you give 1 crore more, that will come to around 1.26. If you roughly take it at around 1.3 crores, that means 10% will be government employees. So 1 person in 10 will be a government employee. So whether that is possible,
I don't think it's possible.
It's not possible for anybody. But what is possible is if you plan your schemes well, if you come out with the right kind of a support, if you encourage investment, then it is possible to create 1 crore job. But they will not be government jobs. 1 crore jobs it is possible to garner in a state like Bihar. But for that right kind of a industrial policy, right kind of a tariff, right kind of licenses, because many colleagues that I talk to, many clients that I talk to, we need lot of reforms as far as licenses are concerned. I don't say that it should be as, or we can ever in the near future reach to the standards of, let's say, China. China, you can go on this Monday and you can see the place, and by next Monday you can make it operational. Everything would be, whether places, everything licensed, ready-made businesses are there. All you need is an investment, and within 8 days you can start. Forget 8 days, but at least in a month's time or 2 months' time, should be able to give all sort of clearances, whether it is construction, whether it is industries, whether it is pollution, whether it is this, all those, because that itself takes sometimes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You see now pollution clearances of mining have been pending for God knows how many eternity. I think it is going to remain till eternity. So this is the kind of, if we are able to remove all these latches and delays and create a conducive atmosphere for business, services, enterprise, I think it is possible. Why we are anywhere in India, it is possible. We need some leaders to really work on these things. Let's see how it unfolds, whether the election, honestly, a good discussion on this can never happen during the election times. Election times is about playing your card safe, but this discussion, which is more important, needs to be discussed at some other time, but not as an election of creating job, wealth, employment, atmosphere. It requires a serious kind of economic discussion. I think our country seriously lacks this. This is, again, I'm not making a political point. It's not a political point on BJP or Congress or Nitish Kumar, or for that matter Lalu also. But this is something that requires to be seriously discussed.
I think the Prashant Kishore had made a very good pitch, according to me. He had come up with ways on where the revenue for the state would increase. Like, for example, one thing that he made a noise about is that he will remove the pseudo prohibition. There's a pseudo prohibition in Bihar, and he said that he will get rid of this pseudo prohibition, and that will increase excise revenue for the state of Bihar, which will be a massive revenue. With that revenue, he said he would open 1 school per so many square kilometers, which I think was an excellent promise.
more of a holistic plan.
Very, very holistic plan. Another thing that he said was that, with that money, we will do infrastructure and development for industries to come. Bihar, I was just reading some statistics. Bihar has only some 1,300 or 1,400 factories. Sorry, 3,386 factories, which is 1.3 of the national total. Only 1% or 1.3% of the factories in the country are in Bihar. right? The per capita income of Bihar is the lowest in the country. It is 32,227 according to 2024 issues. So the per capita income has to increase with factories, because people will get more jobs in those factories. So Prashant Kishore, I think, had a very positive, very holistic approach. He said, okay, let's get in revenue from things like excise, change the laws on excise, make sales of alcohol above the board, so that like taxes are generated, and then those taxes can be used for education, can be used for upscaling jobs and to create more factories, giving infrastructure to industries. So some people like Prashant Kishore are doing a positive campaign, but how many people understand that? How many people in Bihar get that picture? How many people? A lot of people just made fun of him, saying you're voting for Prashant Kishore because वो तो शराब legal करने वाला है, which is not a joke anymore. He had some really cool plans. He also said how he would change the education system, right? This is the reason why a lot of us think that Delhi and Aam Aadmi Party won the elections with the mandates that they won, because they did work in education, because they did work in the field of electricity. Power cuts had lessened, free electricity was given to the needy. When people talk about these things, if they get voted to power and if they deliver, then there is overall hope for the country. Otherwise, like Sir said, during elections nobody talks about these things.
Correct.
But younger politicians like Prashant Kishore, politicians like Arvind Kejriwal, who is much younger, politicians like myself, we see that there is hope if these kind of things happen. Not only in Bihar but in Delhi, and also in a place like Goa or Maharashtra or Karnataka, anywhere.
Okay, fair enough. So we are running out of time. I would want final closing statement, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Siddharth Bab, starting with you.
Yes, as far as outcome is concerned, I see tilt is more in favor of NDA. As far as overall, what would be, what should be the takeaway of this election? That we are still a nation which is still very much dependent upon welfare scheme, about doles, about direct cash transfer, which is indicative of the fact that we have a long way to go, and that is what is really painful. See, Nitish will win, this is fine, but everybody is going to fall. How many people are discussing about other things that we discussed? Not one. They are only talking about what Nitish is going to give me and what Lalu is going to give me. This is indicative of the fact that we have a long way to go, miles to walk before the dawn. That's what the worry is.
Francis Bab.
I think the Bihar election has been extremely fun. Like I said, I love elections. I love electoral politics. It's a game that is fascinating. And Tejasvi Yadav, Rahul Gandhi, Nitish Kumar, all of them have put up a great show. The election can go in any direction. I would not want to. I won't be so bold as to predict. Like Sir said, I agree that Nitish has a slight edge because of the last minute dole out of cash that he has given. But like you said, that could go in not in his favor also. It could go the other way as well. So let's wait and watch. 14th we'll have the results, and I'm just eager to see what happens and how the Bihari people vote. One last thing that I would like to say, like we have in Goa, we Goans are very proud about our Goan culture and heritage, and Biharis are very, very proud about their Bihari heritage, right? Their culture and heritage. Buddhism was started over there, Jainism was started over there, Guru Gobind Singh was born over there, the main Gurudwaras there. So Biharis have this immense pride in their state of Bihar, and that has played also in this election a huge factor. The only person who's invoked Bihari pride has been the Jan Suraj party, because the others say that we are Biharis, we are anyway proud. But Bihari pride might play a factor, like Goan pride plays a factor in Goan politics.
Fair enough. So we do not know as of now who will win, but as far as voting is concerned, I think the voters and electorate have won, because the voting percentage in the second phase is 60.40 up to 3 p.m. So we expect it to go to around 70%, which is much higher than 58.7 in the previous election. Thanks for watching GOA365's live coverage of the Bihar elections. Thank you very much.